People who've been to prison, what's the most wholesome thing you saw? I was doing 7 years for Grand Theft Auto when I got assigned to work in the prison barbershop. Wasn't because I was good with scissors or anything. I just kept my mouth shut and didn't cause problems. The job paid like $2 a day, but you got phone privileges once a week, and honestly, it beat laundry duty. The barbershop was this tiny room with 3 old chairs and mirrors that had seen better days. Most guys came in, got their cut, and left without saying much. But something about sitting in that chair made people talk. Maybe it was the routine of it, or just having someone stand behind you with scissors instead of looking you in the eye. This older guy named Raymond started coming in every 2 weeks, right on schedule. He was probably 60, in for armed robbery, had these sad eyes that made you think he'd been carrying something heavy for way too long. First few cuts, he barely said a word. Then one day, about 3 months into my barbershop gig, he just broke down mid-haircut. I'm standing there with scissors in my hand, and this grown man starts sobbing like his heart's been ripped out. Turns out his wife had stopped writing letters. 6 months of silence. The last letter she sent basically said she was tired of waiting and might be moving on with her life. I never knew how to write back proper, he told me, wiping his eyes with the barber cape. Always just wrote about the weather and asked how she was doing. 32 years married, and I never told her the stuff that mattered. That's when I got this crazy idea. I'd always been decent with words. Used to write poems and stuff before I screwed up my life. So I offered to help him write a letter back, just once, to see if she'd respond. We spent an hour after his haircut talking about his wife Helen, how she used to make these elaborate Sunday dinners for the whole neighborhood, how she'd stay up late reading romance novels and leave sticky notes with funny quotes on his lunchbox, how he regretted never telling her that coming home to her was the best part of every single day for 3 decades. I wrote all of that down and more, made it sound like Raymond talking, but with all the love he felt but never knew how to say. We mailed it that week. 2 weeks later, Raymond burst into the barbershop waving an envelope like he'd won the lottery. Helen had written back. 3 pages this time, instead of her usual half-page updates. She said she'd cried reading his letter because it sounded like the man she fell in love with 40 years ago. That became our routine. Every week, Raymond would come in for a trim he didn't really need, and we'd work on another letter. I'd listen to his stories about their early marriage, their kids, the dreams they used to share, and I'd help him put it all on paper in ways that felt real and honest. The letters from Helen got longer. She started including photos again, then drawings from their grandkids. After about 6 months, she mentioned maybe visiting when she saved up enough money. This went on for a year and a half. I wrote probably 60 letters for Raymond, and Helen wrote back every single time. Guys on the block started calling me the love doctor as a joke, but they said it with respect. Then one day Raymond came in and said something that almost made me cry myself. I think I can write this next one on my own. He did, and Helen wrote back to that one too. When Raymond got released 8 months later, the entire cell block cheered like we'd won the Super Bowl. Guys were hooting and clapping, and even the guards were smiling. This old man who'd been broken and forgotten had his family back, and somehow that felt like hope for all of us. 2 months after he left, I got a letter addressed to me personally. It was from Helen, written in this careful handwriting on nice stationery. Inside was a wedding photo of her and Raymond from 1987, both of them young and grinning like idiots. The note was short, but it hit me harder than my sentencing. Thank you for giving me my husband back. I kept that photo tucked in my mirror for the rest of my sentence.